What's the difference between lust and love? We get them confused. What are your turn-ons? What are your turn-offs? Do you know what really gets you hot under the collar, baby? Are you always dating the person that frankly sucks in bed? Are you and your mate not mating anymore? Do you even know what turns you on? I have that answer. With a date of birth, I can tell you anything. We call it Secrets of Birthdays, the Love and Lust Report. Find out your birthday secrets today, available online at secretsofbirthdays.com.
Soul Garden.
Namaste and welcome to Soul Horoscopes Orbits Edition. From my webcam to yours, I'm Christopher Rayman Witecki, your astrologer and soul biographer, here to help you put the pieces of your karmic story together. And I have a really happy announcement this week introducing Zen Shoemaker. She's got her own show called Dear Zen that airs on SG YouTube on Thursdays and on the Mothership. You can write her for practical advice at dearzen@soulgarden.tv. She's funny, she's wise, and she's a psychic coach. You can also be on her show if you want on Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern, but check her out at the Mothership and check her out at soulmart.me. We love Zen. She's fabulous. Now, moving into the sun, we're wrapping up the sun in Libra. We're going to go from step 27 to step 29 this week, and then we dive fast into Scorpio with our first breakdown by Sunday. It's going to affect emotional relationships and boundaries, and we have a quantum shift coming on November 3rd. More on that later. The moon begins this week in stable Taurus, then shifts into jumpy Gemini, and then it has a little turbulence as it moves into Cancer because we hop over Black Lilith and Jupiter, but we do end the week in lovely Leo. The moon signs most affected are Taurus moons, Gemini moons, Cancer moons, and Leo moons, and the moons that might go into the dark side are Scorpios, Sag moons, Capricorns, and Aquarius moons. Now, looking at our orbits, man. The moon was in the root chakra, remember, in Aries for that big full moon, and this week it moves through the solar plexus all the way up to the heart. So a lot of digestion issues for a lot of people on Earth. The other planet I want to point out is the Earth itself, which is in the root chakra. Now the Earth is what we are manifesting now. So we've been manifesting a new ego as the sun's been in Libra. But as the sun moves into Scorpio, we'll be manifesting manifestation. That's because the Earth will move to its home chakra, the orange chakra, and that means manifestation will be at a pure point. So the point is we actually manifest more when the sun's in Scorpio than we do when the sun is in Taurus for that reason. Now looking at the planets, the aspect that most affects us, I think, is this opposition. This is literally ego versus God, and it's an intense transit this week. This might be kind of looked at as the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other. Literally, we are tug and pull between the needs of our ego, which is where we're most disconnected, and Neptune, which is where we can be most disconnected or connected. Neptune's just like a modem that logs into anything. So in your horoscopes, I'll be talking about how that opposition affects you. Plus, this square between Pluto and Uranus has reached a massive head. Both planets are at 9 degrees. 9 is an aggressive degree. After all, it's trying to get to 10, right? And this is a fear coming up in your life, probably a long-running fear, and I'll be talking about this fear as well upstairs in your horoscope. And getting a closer look at some planets. Like I said, the moon this week, when it zips through jumpy Gemini, then moves into Cancer and will, boom, bounce off of Black Lilith and Jupiter. That's going to be an emotional kind of moment, if you say, and we'll talk about that on your horoscope as well. So let's get right to it. Let's take the ascension elevator up. Let's go to the 33rd floor at 33,000 feet and get a bird's eye view of you.
Folks, this is your captain speaking. We realize you have a choice in the astrologers you choose to fly with, and we'd just like to thank you for flying with Christopher Witecki.
Hello, Soul Healers and Virgo Risings, and welcome to 33,000 feet for your bird's eye view of you. The sun is in Libra, and Virgos are working on their abundance, the ability to manifest. That's the light work term for it. And this is what Tauruses do best, is manifest. I love manifesting things. Now, money's not one thing I always manifest, but I sure do manifest things like horoscopes and stuff that I like to manifest. So you're stepping into your manifestation and being able to take something invisible and make it visible, right? An idea. So that said, we're going to wrap up manifestation and set that course and set that ship to sail. And then you're going to move into the rough seas of your mind. And it's time for Virgos to get a wrinkle on their mind. Saturn's been in Scorpio for a full year, telling you, hey, you got to quit beating yourself up, picking on yourself, all sorts of things. Pick, Virgos do in their minds, and therefore, they feel picked on by the world, or people do pick on you because they can sense you're kind of a picker, and so they pick on you. And that's how law of attraction is. If you pick on yourself, the world will pick on you. And this is really about, Virgos love to pick. I mean, you love to be detailed and focus on the right detail. The point is, as I just let out of the bag, you want to focus on the right detail. And the right detail is based on what your heart cares about, not what the world cares about. All right? Now, looking at the stuff I said in the open, that opposition of Mars moving into Virgo, you got arrogance moving into your sign. And that means it's time to be strong about what you're strong about, but it's time to be humble about what it's time to be humble about. And Mars is going to make you really difficult to deal with, I would say, on the planet for about 6 weeks. And for you, though, there'll be a tug of war between really yourself and your strength. Part of you wanting to yield, part of you wanting to charge ahead. And, honestly, it's about timing. There is a time to yield. There is a time to charge ahead. If you are self-compassionate to yourself always, you will unlikely step on anyone. If you are totally nice to yourself, you will not step on anyone, okay? And I'm not saying that you do step on people. I'm saying when Mars goes in a person's sign, they find themselves stepping on people. That's what it is. Now, the square of Uranus to Pluto is for you fears between changing what you're comfortable with and your heart getting what it wants. The universe is basically going to say, hey, you can have what you want, but you're going to have to go get in that pool over there, that hot tub, with all those strangers in a bikini or whatever, and you're a man. But the point is that, the square is that your inner child wants something, and the universe is going to tell you to be more fluid, more liquid, more humble, and bow your head. You can always charge up if something goes wrong. But you're going to have to duck and change and shift a little bit with your personal boundaries, and that's what Uranus is. So this week we're stepping into manifestation, when you can draw by law of attraction, make magic, abundance, pull stuff out of your hat. This is what it's all about, living on Earth. We're going to move from taking it into action, so you're going to throw the football into play. You're going to move forward with the manifestation, decide, act. It's a final test of truth, because if anything's built on bullshit, you'll find that it falls down. And you're going to hold that note until Wednesday. Wednesday we move into Scorpio. It's like no man's land. We fall down the rabbit hole. It's Scorpio, so it's a rabbit hole there. And for you, it's probably falling into some sort of a mind matrix. Most Virgos falling down into a mind matrix. Be careful not to fall for... Here's the thing. You are going to need a mind matrix where you're going to start and do a huge analysis and a systems check of your mind. But you don't need to fall into a question of something wrong as an excuse to do a mind background check, because you're going to do a background check. I know a lot of Virgos that will use some sort of paranoia phobia right now as an excuse to look at their thinking processes. You don't have to torture yourself. That's what this is all about, is that you don't. You just have to underscore that. So in the state of Scorpio, which is the self-torture thought thing, the sun goes to 4 degrees by the end. Saturn is at 13. 13 is very unstable. It's not a myth. It means breakthrough, quantum breakthrough. So in the next 10 days, breakdown and breakthrough, mental breakdown, breakthrough for Virgos and Virgo risings, and Mercury goes retrograde on Monday. So the universe is definitely pulling the rug out from under you, and something you might have thought one thing and you realize it's something different. So it's like, I thought Ted was straight. Nope, Ted's gay. I mean, you might think something and then not, and that's kind of how the universe kind of shows you just how fragile our mental system is. It's not fragile in the sense of can hurt us, fragile in the sense of you can erase it and rewrite it anytime. So you're going to find where you need to erase. Now in the state of Cancer, this is your social public arena. You are stepping into, so while you're re-questioning thoughts in itself, you're being pushed out there into the social arena. And when you're out there, the trick of it is to just be out there as if you've never had a problem in society before. You've never had a problem with friends before. You just go out there as if you've never had a problem before. All right? You just put it all down. And of course, this is a big challenge to your mind to put it all down, right? So looking at the week, Jupiter says it's going to get passionate with society. Saturn says you're in uncharted, breakdown, breakthrough, mental territory. Mercury's going to retrograde, so you're going to rethink thinking at large. You're going to move into those other Virgo spaces that no man has gone before. And Uranus at retrograde 9 degrees is you, well, it's retrograde, so you're reconsidering, but how do I put this? My mind is wanting to go in bad places. This is where you need to be flexible with your personal boundaries. And this is where you need to stay very fluid and flexible with what you're willing to try or what you're willing to do. This is what the full moon was a few nights ago. And so, that will remain constant all week. Now, Neptune is in the mirage, in the way you treat yourself. Be very self-compassionate, be very Christian, or whatever your term would be. And now I know that probably just opened a huge can of worms with Virgos. That word is just like, boom. I mean, in the classic, compassionate Christmas sense. Christmas. Be Christmas to yourself. That's it. That's what I'm going to use now. Be Christmas to yourself. That's what Neptune 2 degrees is. You're going to see from the rest of the horoscopes, I'm just going to say, because that's the perfect way to say it. Like it's Christmas every day, which means it's okay. So if you spill the milk on Christmas, it's okay. It's Christmas, right? Like that's where you want to live. And Pluto 9 degrees it is Christmas. That means it's time to move forward with your inner child and what your inner child wants. And there's no turning back, and you can't settle for less. And that's just the way it is. Cross your arms like a Virgo. So on Sunday, the moon is in Taurus, so you are theoretical, you're all over the map, but you want to move forward with whatever it is you're manifesting. On Monday, you're loving and trusting that is not a mistake. And the moon moves into now career and legacy, so it's kind of out of theory and into reality. And so you are you may be feeling some career pressure. At the same time, Mercury retrogrades. And so now, Mercury's been helping you think sharp, and suddenly you'll be fuzzy. So probably the most affected sign in the retrograde as far as your thinking will be Virgos and Virgo risings. You're really going to be somewhere else, and the question is, where are you and why are you there, right? So you have a lot of that thought to have. On Tuesday, real chance of breakdown, unfortunately. Might feel psychically like it will be career disappointment. I don't want to put that out there, but I just want to be able to report the news. It is a day where you want to be there for yourself. It's a total test of whether or not you feel you'll be able to manifest or not. The truth is remember, when we manifest, we have to let God, universe, decide how it comes to us. And so we think we know how it will come to us. But it's about holding the space and knowing that it will happen. And this is where, people who are successful versus non-successful, they give up, they stop holding. If the little chickie doesn't hatch, the mother hen stays on the egg. If someone says your little egg is worth nothing, the mother hen stays on the egg. For male Virgos, I'm sorry, male Virgos don't mind. You guys are very naturalists. You'll be okay. Use that analogy in an Aries horoscope. Oh my God. So you're holding space on Tuesday. Wednesday, down the rabbit hole into your mind. So something's going to put you into a mind trip anyways. Like I said, don't exploit yourself. The moon in Gemini means it's a career day again, but this day is a spaced out day and we're in 0 degree. And for those watched over in the Garden Agency, I will be texting you. On Thursday, things do feel better. I think more social. I think things click online. I think you're feeling stronger. I think your mind is a lot sharper this day. And it's a day really of feeling out whether or not your mind is on your side or not. Which is it? What side is it on? On Friday, the moon is ruled by Cancer. And on that day, the mind will tend to slip too easily down thought paths. So I'll be texting and warning people, do not slip down that path, So it's like if it's kind of like on Friday, it's like if you let yourself think, if like the commercial comes up and you think about the ex-boyfriend, then you will cry. You know what I mean? Like, do not go down that path. But it's all about your mind and how it slips for emotion. On Saturday, the moon moves into Leo, thank goddess. By the end of the day, the sun's ruled by Jupiter, and so it's a very optimistic Scorpio day, and it's a day ultimately of where your emotions go more private. So you can go into your privacy. I think for Virgos, even though this is usually a karmic relationship, when the moon goes into Leo, you're dealing with karma. I think for you, you're going to be so happy to be out of the public. You're going to feel good on Saturday. So probably a very private day on Saturday. Now, taking a sneak peek at next week, Sunday we have breakdown right away. And the moon's in Leo, so it's private and spiritual. Probably don't want to plan anything on Sunday the 27th. It's a hard week, really building up. And then we have a solar eclipse on the 3rd. More on that later. So, as you well know, I have a Serious Joy toy present for you in the Witecki Theater at the bottom, but you need to grab a prayer shoot and take the Soulmark commercial down. And when you get back, When you get down, I'll be back with your Serious Joy Toy after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Please put on your prayer chute and prepare for jump.
It's Mercury Retrograde. That means it's time for our Soulmart.me Mercury Retrograde sale. Like a 1-hour reading with Christopher Witecki, normally $159, Retrograde's back to $95.10. Or try a 15-minute psychic look reading with Zen Shoemaker. She retrogrades down to $45 for a 15-minute reading. Or try the Act 3 Orbits Report. And if the Jupiter Gets Emotional, retrogrades the same to 1111. At Soulmart.me, mind, body, and soul improvement. Hello Virgos and Virgo risings, and welcome now for your Serious Joy Toy. And if you don't know, your Serious Joy Toy is something to play with in your imagination for the whole week that will kind of keep you going, keep you in your inner child. And we've been going on this whole idea of that you are manifesting and you are a magician. And I had said last week, try a test manifestation. Manifest something like an opportunity or free tickets or winning something or something small. Just manifest. Well, this week we're going to build on that and conclude the Sun in Libra with It Is Showtime. From now until Wednesday, it's time to put on the show and dance. It is time to put on the song and dance, that's what I'm trying to say. In other words, you got to walk your talk. You're in sales mode. It is manifestation. You do not stop. You just keep going. I'm not saying run yourself to the ground. I just mean that you just keep going off stage until the music stops, all right? And really, if you can put on a song and dance, you really should. I think the more fun you have with your Serious Joy Toy, the better. All right, well, if you need some help, I do have a retrograde special right now that you should take advantage. And if not, I will see you in 7 days. Until then, live, love, be. The gift. Right? So it's like, even if it's something ugly, it's like, oh, thank you! Thanks! We did all the pictures for them. It's on their Facebook in 30 seconds. People are already posting and responding to you on your hip. Oh, shit!